Welcome everybody to a brand new Thursday edition of the weekly WP Roundup. A lot of you may be confused right now, wondering if your days got blurred together even more, like you may not even know what's going on, but rest assured, this is what's supposed to be going on this week. We are moving my stream here up to Thursday for this 1 week only, because tomorrow we are having another stream where Mac is going to be streaming and talking about our brand new hosting feature that we have just announced this week. So rather than go through on Monday and have it really early for a lot of people, we're going to be doing it tomorrow to make sure that we have everything within 1 week so that people can get their questions answered as quickly as possible, since we launched that earlier this week. So we wanted to go and do it just a little bit differently this week. Wanted to make sure that we still got this community in, still being able to talk and answer questions and all of that. But we really wanted to have 2 streams this week back to back to be able to answer any kind of questions that we could, specifically tomorrow, especially tomorrow with Mac. So keep that in mind. At the same time, Mac will be streaming. I believe it's the same time tomorrow. If I hear while we're streaming, I'll let you know. Otherwise, keep an eye on the YouTube and Facebook channels so that you can catch that stream as well. I wanted to, if you haven't been here before, or if you have, remember that the comment section is always super lively. We want to answer any questions that we have from you. We want to get to know you, so feel free to throw anything that you want to in there. Well, within reason, y'all know. Make sure that you open the description of this video so that you see all of the links that I've curated this week, so that we can talk about those, and so that you can have those resources as well. I do see people going a little crazy, thinking I'm a homunculus or some sort of clone. It is entirely possible. I would probably get more work done at that point. But no, I wouldn't. I would just... It would be like multiplicity. It would be, I would not get more work done. But Donald says, let's get started. What's the latest with the mobile menu update? Have not heard, my friend. That one is up in the air for me. I have not heard at all. So it's would be, as soon as I know, I will let you know. Um, Now, just, I'm going to dig right into what we were talking about, what I was talking about earlier, why I'm here on Thursday. The very first thing under your news section in the description of this video is that we have launched partner hosting with Pressable, with Flywheel, and with SiteGround. We've been working with on these partnerships. We want to thank our partnership manager, Awa, who has put these together, and they're just absolutely fantastic. He has worked tirelessly to be able to make these work really well for y'all. So it's been a big shout out to him for getting a lot of the details worked out. Now, I want to point out what this is. This is not hosting provided by Elegant Themes. This is not something where we have our servers for this. What Divi hosting is partnerships with Flywheel, SiteGround, and Pressable to have a fully configured, pre-existing Divi environment for you for your hosting. So all of our best practices and recommendations are already pre-configured. You have Divi already connected to any new sites that you spin up. You don't have to worry about your API keys and things like that to be able to go back and forth. It is already connected to your ET account, so all you have to do is literally press the brand new site button, name it, and it's spun up with Divi, and all of the pre-stuff that you have to do is already taken care of. That you won't have to worry about dealing with any of the PHP changes. You won't have to go in and adjust anything else. Everything is set up through the host themselves to be what we say will run Divi the absolute best. So that is, we are really happy about this. Like, we are ecstatic. We're over the moon to be able to have these kind of partners run hosting like this. On top of that, y'all get a discount for it. So if you sign up through Elegant Themes, if you sign up through our hosting page, then you're going to get a discount as well as all of that. So it's only available to people who go through the hosting page. So it's not, unfortunately, it's not if you're like me who has a SiteGround account already to go retroactive, but you can sign up and start up and migrate over. Very easy process to do, which I have honestly considered doing myself. Oh, excuse me. So this is big news. Like, we're really happy. We're going to have a lot more coming in terms of announcements and things like that. But it's this is we have been working on this, and I'm so excited about it. I think it's on Monday that I've written up a walkthrough with Pressable specifically when it goes up, and I am crazy impressed, y'all. That is me saying that as a user and not as an Elegant Themes member. I was really really impressed by the back end because I'd never used Pressable before. So it was very, very good being able to go through, and it was super easy to set up. So that is my sales pitch, but that is something that I'm saying to y'all since I was the one going through doing it. I wanted to let y'all know that I do really like that one. And I think it's neat that Pressable is one of our partners. I'm really excited about that because they are hosted by Automatic. They're hosted by they're run by the same company on the same servers as WordPress.com.org and WooCommerce. So it is the official WordPress hosting. You actually get hosted with WordPress that way. So it's really cool. There will be more of that. You'll get to see how a lot of this works tomorrow when Mac is going through his stream talking about them, talking about Flywheel, Pressable, and SiteGround. So it's going to be really cool. Y'all should absolutely set your reminders to go off tomorrow to check the live streams so that you can see what Mac is doing as well, to find out even more as he digs into the multiple platforms. Um, I'm seeing that Uncle Social says it's better than last week's Facebook and Giphy news, which I agree. This is a lot better. This is much more exciting for me than having my information tracked across multiple platforms via API. So I'm excited to have an API that I'm really excited about regarding the link up between the hosting accounts and your ET accounts. And I see that Uncle Social says, I love SiteGround because it's in the EU, but Flywheel has Flywheel local. I think. Now, don't get me, hold me to this, but I was thinking that there was a recent update to local that let you push it to other places more easily. I'm not 100% on that, but I was thinking I'd read about it because it's been a little bit since I've used local for that. But I was thinking that there was a way to do it for more than just like actually directly pushing it from local. So that may be something to think about. But Flywheel is, but I've loved Flywheel ever since I met the folks at my first WordPress WordCamp, and they were just super wonderful people. I've really liked that platform, so I'm super excited that we're partnering with them as well. And they were bought earlier this year, or maybe late last year, by WP Engine. So it is now backed by multiples of the top WordPress managed hosting companies. So with the WP Engine behind them, but they're still operating independently. Which is, again, I want to say thinking about that made me remember that if you go through the Divi hosting and you set this up, you get support from both sides. That our teams are in communication with each other for hosting clients, so that if you have an issue on Pressable or SiteGround, they're going to be able to get into talks with the ET support, so that you're not having to deal with two separate support lines, which we also think is fantastic. We're really, really excited about that, because we know that when you guys go in with hosting problems and you come up with some kind of issue, you may be putting in a ticket on Elegant Themes, and you may be putting in a ticket with your host. Now you don't have to do that. With Divi hosting, you can do it in one place, and everything is streamlined. I see that Elise asks, what do you mean by partnering with Flywheel? Elise, if you will look at the first link in the description, we have Divi hosting now, where we have partnered with Flywheel, SiteGround, and Pressable to have customized Divi environments with pre-installed Divi themes on any new site that you launch. So it's set to all best recommendations and best practices already in terms of server environment to make Divi run the smoothest it can. So we're partnering with them in terms of doing stuff like that, combining and kind of bridging support between them, and linking up the accounts so that we can save you as much time and headache as humanly possible. And Nassim says, is it only for using Divi, or can you use other theme builders? Sometimes I use Elementor, about 15%. Absolutely. You can absolutely in any... let me say this in a different way. You are in no way limited in what you can do. All this is a special environment that has been pre-configured for Divi best server recommendations. That means that if you want to install Elementor and build with it, absolutely do that. If you want to install Genesis and then use the Divi Builder with it, which is also a really great thing with the Divi Builder plugin, can be run with other themes. So any way that you want to do it, feel free to. Just we're excited because this prevents you having to go in and alter any PHP settings, having to get in contact with your host to get PHP versions updated, making sure that you do all of the little tweaks that we suggest that can really make a difference in Divi's performance on the front and back end. It's all done for you. So yes, you can absolutely do anything that you want on there. I saw that Samar says, thanks for finally changing the wallpaper. I did that for you. I knew that you had been asking for that for a couple of weeks, so I saw this one the other day when I was just browsing around. I don't even remember what I was doing, but I saw that wallpaper, and I was like, I'm going to change that. I'm going to show them that I can change that, and I'm listening. So I like it. I like the bright pink. So and Uncle Social says no tie-ins with GoDaddy or HostGator. I actually don't know what other partnerships are coming up. I know that was tongue-in-cheek, but there are other partnerships that are being worked on in various ways. So I don't know if that's going to be one or not. I see 147 Dev says that is it Friday already? Yabba dabba doo. I wish I could even say that this was my Friday already, but it's just putting it off, doing this early. But at least in America, we have a long weekend because of Memorial Day, so we have that to look forward to. And Elise says, I love these folks regarding Flywheel. It's just too expensive. Does that lower the cost of hosting with Divi partnering with Flywheel? Yes. You will get a discount for going through the Divi hosting page, which is elegantthemes.com/hosting. And yes, you'll get a discount. I honestly don't know what the discount is off of the main pricing. That was one thing that I haven't really dug into and compared myself this week. But yes, there is absolutely a discount involved on there. Making my mouth very, very dry. And I see and no, Daryl, I'm sorry I'm not playing mind games with you. Didn't miss a day. I know all of them blur together. It is crazy sometimes. Like I've worked on stuff today. I've been working on articles. I've been setting up for this stream, and I realized that I was really excited because tomorrow was Saturday, and I realized that no, it's not. That there's still another day in the work week, because this is one of the things that signals the end of the work week for me. So it was crazy to me. That's like, oh man, there's another work day tomorrow. But it's okay. I get to talk to you guys a day early. So let's see. If one already has, Mickey asked this on YouTube, if one already has hosting with one of these companies, can the account be moved to the Divi hosted solution? Okay, this is a loaded question. I'm going to answer it the way that I know how. Because if you have an existing account with one of the hosting providers, you will need to set up a new account with them and migrate your other stuff to the new account that you've set up through the Divi hosting page. That's what I actually will probably do fairly soon myself. Regarding SiteGround, that's what I use personally. So I'm going to probably set up a new SiteGround account when mine starts coming due again, migrate all of that stuff over, and use the Divi environment that way, and let my current one go, defunct, because all of my stuff is moved over. That is the only thing that this is for new quote unquote customers of ours and the host, but you can do it with a migration. The one thing I like about all of these hosts is that they have free migrations. So I've used SiteGround's migration before, and I know that it worked without a hitch. I didn't get to test the pressable one all the way from beginning to end, but the free plugin worked well from the stuff that I messed with it. It was very simple and easy to use. I just didn't migrate an entire site over. But you can absolutely do the get a new account and migrate your stuff to the same host but a different account, if that makes any sense. Just make sure, and I'm going to say this over and over again as we're talking about this, make sure that you go through the Elegant Themes portal for this. That is the way to get it right now. That you need to go to follow the links in the blog, follow the links in elegantthemes.com/hosting, and you can see the pricing on all of them. You can see the features that are set up for all of them, and you will go through, because the way that it's set up with the account APIs is it will connect your ET account to the new hosting account through that checkout workflow. So make sure that you do it through the Elegant Themes portal, our hosting portal, so that you get that. But yeah, you'll just talk to the hosting support and be like, hey, I need to migrate these sites over, and just do it like any other migration at that point. And canceling the other account, doing what you need to do there. I see Elise, if you want to change hosting as soon as possible, make sure that you check the /hosting page. They do have the pricing on there. Like I said, I just haven't looked back at the new pricing for other the other hosts versus what's on the hosting page here, but they are there. It is straight up on the hosting page. You just have to click view details and it takes you there. When you get this set up, all of y'all, if y'all go through Divi hosting, and like I said, y'all can see I'm excited about this. When y'all get that set up, you will have a new tab in your Elegant Themes member area where it's just log in to, and will take you to the dashboard for your new host. So you can, go through the entire workflow a little bit easier. I know that when I was messing with Pressable, there's a login for Pressable in the Elegant Themes member area. Then you can log in normally on the Pressable, like my.pressable, and there's a divi.pressable that you can use. So it's like we've made this as streamlined and as easy as possible. So however you have your current workflow, we're trying to keep that in mind and make it a little bit easier on y'all as you go. So check that stuff out. Let me know how you feel about it, because I really, really am excited about it. This is one I know that I think a lot of people are going to be impressed by, especially as time goes on, and this kind of just becomes one of those things that we offer and that we have. This is what I was excited about last week when I said that there was something coming this week that I just couldn't say, that I wasn't allowed to talk about yet, and I knew that this was coming up. So I saw the ClickUp card with the post and read it and saw what all was going on. I was just like, I was so excited. So I'm very, very glad that we were able to launch this and work with these partners, because honestly, they're three of my top hosts, two of my top hosts that I've worked with, and this is my first time with Pressable, and I'm very impressed as a consumer. So I gotta say, good stuff all around here. Now, that said, please ask any questions you may have. Remember that Mac is doing a stream tomorrow to cover this in more in-depth, going through all of them, the setup, the details of pushing through with each, getting everything linked, all of that. Mac is going to be going through it. So check the live streams out tomorrow. It'll be really, really good stuff. If y'all have never tuned into one of Mac's live streams, this is the chance to do it, and this is absolutely fantastic. Well, it will be absolutely fantastic. Now, moving on into the other news thing that I had found, the news article, if you look under news, the second link is called Join a Discussion About Full Site Editing and the Future of the Customizer. This is one of those discussions that I saw that happens on the make.wordpress.org Slack. So if you're not a member of the official WordPress Slack server, this is your opportunity to sign up, join it, and get involved. I say this to y'all specifically because what they're looking for is a discussion on the full site editing project with sorry, I got distracted by comments there. It is the full site editing functionality of Gutenberg. It talks about the customizer in terms of how the core is going to support all of that. And this is a discussion that all of y'all are directly involved in, because you're involved in the page builder community, because you use all of these all the time, that's where your bread and butter is. This is very much directly involves you to be able to put in any ideas that you may have. if you're not familiar with these kinds of chats, one thing that always comes up is you'll have these discussions. You're going to have people that says that there will be time for an open floor for people to throw ideas out there and discuss. One thing that also comes from these discussions are new GitHub issues, excuse me, and track issues that facilitate discussion on various things on like the Gutenberg plugin or whatever, that work a lot like forums, so that you can actually discuss and throw ideas in there. That's something that I've done in the past, is got in there on the Gutenberg plugin and joined in issue discussions. It's a really, really good way to do it. And now that you're working in the full site editing by the end of the year, this is where you can get involved in that. Let's see how it talks about this going to be guided by what's the goal of the full site editing, what can be done in the customized component to help pave the way in core for full site editing. How can developers familiar with the customizer best apply that experience to the Gutenberg team, and what's the best use of time within the customized component for non-Gutenberg tasks, and stuff like that. So it's something that directly involves y'all, because y'all are in this knee deep every day. So if you have time, this happens at 1600 UTC on May 28th. So check that out. It's next week, and it's something that is absolutely worth checking in on, looking at least at the transcripts later. They'll post up some stuff on the make.wordpress.org site. But absolutely, this is something I think that y'all should get involved in. Y'all should take a look at this, and you should definitely be looking at the GitHub and track comment threads on stuff like this, so that you stay abreast of what's coming up. And my computer, I had to wipe my computer, y'all, the other day, that it was getting too slow, and I forgot to reset the sleep timer. That means I've been on here for 30 minutes without touching my computer, that it just died on me, that the screen went to sleep, so I had to move it. But yeah, so and I see Elise says, I do not see any discount available, but SiteGround gives 50% off the first term. Let me click in just to see what it is on here with SiteGround, because I haven't clicked through. It should come on, I gotta find I didn't click on the pricing. I just decided to go on and scroll. Gotta log in here. Where it's showing on me for the price of Startup at $3.95 a month, the Grow Big at $5.95 a month, and the Go Geek is $11.95 a month right now when I click through on the Divi site. It's the Divi and WordPress pre-installed on all plans, and if you've already purchased Divi, we'll pre-install it for you. That's what all that is, and it talks about adding collaborators and stuff like that. But those are the prices that I'm seeing when I click through on SiteGround. Like I said, I like that a bunch. And you're welcome, Uncle Social, on the UTC time. I had nothing to do with that, just read the post. So I'm glad to see that that they're looking out for you. 147 Dev asks, what time is Mac on? And I'm going to say, I don't know. I actually, I feel sheepish about this, but I forgot to ask. It will either be 6 a.m. Eastern, or 3 p.m. Eastern. 6 a.m. Eastern or 3 p.m. Eastern. I don't know which. That was, I understood it to be at this time, where I normally do my stream, but I am not 100% on that. So it's one of those where I actually, while I'm online, this is the great thing about being on a live stream. I'm going to let's see, click into the elegant themes thing. I'm going to message and see. I've asked what I've asked what time Mac is going live tomorrow. And I'll find out for you on that, but it will be tomorrow. That's why I'm here on Thursday. I see. Naki asked, did you register for a recent upcoming WordCamp online? I have not done that. I have not registered for it, but I'm going to. I am 100% going to register for the WordCamp EU online and the WordCamp US online. There is really no reason not to, since they're both going to be virtual conferences, and the talks at WordCamps are astonishingly good, especially when you get to the national and international level like this. They are the best of the best. They are the organizing teams are amazing at these, so I'm absolutely going to sign up for the online versions of those, and I highly suggest that y'all do too. Super good. Samar asked, which mic and camera is that? This is the Rode Procaster. I don't actually know I don't remember the actual model, but if you look up Rode Procaster, you will see that. And the camera is the Logitech C922. It is probably out of stock right now. You may be able to find the C960, which is the updated version of it. Thank you for 147 Dev. That it is 11 a.m. or 8 p.m. for y'all, which is also great. Which is also great that you did that, because for me, in Central Time, that is at 5 a.m. Whenever he goes live in the mornings. So I do not ever get to watch Mac live, because unlike y'all who are fantastic and stay up super late, I do not get up early for live streams. So I'm very glad for you that it comes up at 11 a.m. or 8 p.m. So that is much easier than 5 a.m. regardless. And Daryl says, I scheduled time off for WordCamp US again this year. Have to work during WordCamp EU. Oh, Daryl, I hate that. Like, you are just having the worst luck for WordCamp US of anybody I know. Like, that is some bad luck. But maybe you'll be able to do it if you've already got the time off that you get. If you get the time off, you'll be able to sit and do it and virtually take advantage of it and see how wonderful it is, and join in any live chats and things like that are going. But you have had some bad luck with last year stuff coming up right before it, like days before it, and then this year going online. I did just hear from Nathan as I was saying that. That's what distracted me. He's going on early. It's going to be at his normal Monday morning time, just on Friday. So it will be at 11 a.m. UTC. See what I did there, Uncle Social? It'll be at 6 a.m. Eastern for all of y'all. It will be at 11 a.m. UTC. So thank you, Nathan. I'm not sure if you're watching or just hearing me on Slack, so thank you for that. So y'all will need a type of thanks. That he'll be on at 6 a.m. Eastern or 11 a.m. UTC for y'all to ask about any of the hosting stuff. I was about to say marketplace stuff because of the comment on YouTube here. And I do see Daryl said I was in Nashville last, and that was my last one as well. It was the first one in Nashville, though. I didn't get to make it to the second one, even though I'm just a couple of hours south of it. Things had come up where I couldn't get that far north right then. So I like Nashville a lot as a city, though. They're good WordCamps. And actually, WordCamp Nashville, not even at the U.S., was my first WordCamp ever. The WordPress community up in Nashville, Tennessee is phenomenal. And Samar asked, any news about the Divi marketplace? Waiting for it hardcore. I hope that one's coming sooner rather than later. The things that I've seen are showing sooner rather than later. I would bet on it being soon. I don't know an exact ETA. I don't know if anybody knows an exact ETA, but I believe that one should be around the corner-ish. A soon TM, like they always said when I played World of Warcraft. That was when you didn't have a date, it was soon, TM with a capital S. But that one I'm hoping comes out really soon. The stuff I've seen, waiting for it hardcore, crossing my fingers about that one too. For those of you who don't know about the Divi Marketplace, this is a good time to refresh you and to let you know about it. We're having an upcoming marketplace where we're going to sell third-party plugins and modules and child themes on the Elegant Themes website. It's going to be a vetted marketplace where we make sure that everything there is up to our standard of quality. So you can go and you can look in the blog. You can search our blog for Divi Marketplace, and you will see one of Nick's posts calling for developers to submit things. I'm not sure if that call is completely over right now, as they've been beta testing this for a long time, trying to make sure that everything is working very, very smoothly for everyone involved. But it is going to be fantastic. The stuff that I've seen, the demos that I've seen of it are phenomenal. It is a fantastic part of the site. So I cannot wait for that to launch. I know y'all are too. And like I said, it is soon, capital STM. So we'll see. We'll see when that comes out, but I would not expect it later. So here's hoping. Hope all the kinks get worked out and we can get that one to y'all, because we're super excited about it. Now, moving into the tutorials, I want to point out the first tutorial that I saw, that Nathan, our content manager at Elegant Themes here, was perfect for writing this one, and he knocked it out of the park. How to hire a content writer for your website or publication. I'm not sure if one of y'all watching actually asked for this. I did a post, or I think it was me. Yeah, it was me. My brain on what I've written and what I've done research for is just gone sometimes. I did a comment or a post on how to hire, places to go and hire a WordPress developer. Someone had commented on that one that it would be really useful on a how to hire a content writer as well as like a WordPress developer. So Nathan, being the content manager who has hired a number of content writers, published this one today, and it is so fantastic. So if you are either a content writer who wants to get hired somewhere, or actually the person who does the searching for freelancers or staff content writers, check this out, because it is broken down into basically the way that we do ours. And I say that in a great way, because this is basically how I got hired here, like going through this with the way that he was talking about it, like talking about the attributes of a great content writer, what you're doing, what you're looking for, how you need to get the job description out there, where you need to publish it, looking within your own existing community, things like that, how you onboard people, and the editorial process, all of that. And I can say from 100% experience with this process that he outlines on here, it's great. So if you, and I was one of the guys who was onboarded after all of this stuff is going on and taken in, read this post, check it out. It will, if you can follow this when you're hiring people, I guarantee it'll make your life easier and theirs easier, because this was one of the smoothest transitions into a new job I've ever had, because of just how well thought out it is. So really loving this post. Super useful. Jason, I believe, did an article on how to implement a dark mode toggle in your Divi site. So he he has a sneak peek on there where it is actually a custom toggle on there. It's not a website automatic, the detect dark mode or detect display CSS. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head for some reason, but it is a toggle that you can use for a pre-made layout that you can have on there that lets you switch between light and dark. And for some reason in my mind, this is switching between light and dark. I don't know why that's the case, but it is. So you guys get to know that. We also have an article that Haley Walden wrote on social capital. This is an idea that I want to point out to everyone on here if you've never heard of it. When I first heard the term social capital, I had no idea what people were talking about. This was, I want to say it was 5 or 6 years ago when I heard it the first time. And it clicked for me. Like, this is exactly how we interact online. And maybe it's because I'm a gamer and it just made sense. But the way that Haley puts this in here is that social capital is basically reputation points that you earn and then get to spend in different ways among your community and users and target audience. That's something that I think all marketers and people who do any kind of marketing should be aware of in the back of their mind, because if you aren't, you're going to misuse social capital at some point. And I say that in a way that think about this as reputation points, as influence, as just people liking and trusting you. That is basically what social capital is. I like to think that over the last 2.5 years, I have built some social capital with y'all regular viewers, so that if I say something, I'm going to hope that you know that I'm not going to be misrepresenting something to you. I hope that I've built up enough social capital with you that you can take me at my word, so that if I say, like earlier in this episode, that I was really personally impressed with the Pressable backend and dealing with the Divi hosting website, that is me saying that I would not say that if it were not true. That because of the way that I've accumulated that you've given me that social capital by putting that trust in me, that you and me not having misused it, that I can spend it on that, use those points and say, hey, this is a good one, that these Divi hosts, these are legitimately good, that I do that I believe in that personally. And just the idea of that, if you approach business and online interaction and the way that you do your marketing and interact with your community, it changes it, because it means that you're interacting in a more genuine way. And it means that whenever you put out a recommendation, or you accept a sponsored post, or you get an influencer deal, or even y'all, if you're hiring an influencer to be able to promote something, that you are expending that social capital. You're putting some of your reputation on those people or on that product, so that you're spending it and putting it there so that your community trusts you enough and can then go to that. It's a really interesting thing, because if it's bad, then that accounts on you and you have completely lost those points, that you have dropped in rating. You have negative dividends. You have plummeted at the end of the stock day. You can see I know a lot about stocks because those were not the right words to use for them. But that's what it is. And just the idea of social capital, has always been super intriguing to me. And I try to actually use that concept whenever I'm doing anything online, that I'm not going to promote something super sketchy, that I'm not going to have an ad on one of my podcasts for something I don't actually use, or that I think is really bad and would give you a bad experience. It's just not worth it in terms of the social capital that I have. I'm not wasting that because it's been too hard to build up in the end. So I love the idea of that, and I thought that the article that she wrote about it was was great. And really broke it down into manageable and actionable steps. And I think that it's something that whether you're primarily a developer or a designer or a salesman, a salesperson, or what you actually do, I think that the idea there is applicable. I think that you can you have some sort of social capital even within your own businesses there, where if anybody's ever read or seen the BBC miniseries of Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman, the idea that a favor is the most valuable currency that you can have, that you trade favors for when someone needs something in the future, that it has to be important enough of an ask for you to ask them for something because they're going to come back later for something that they deem just as important as that. That's the way that I approach this. Like, you're not going to ask a coworker for something silly and say, hey, I'll owe you one. That's social capital, and them coming back, you're going to save that until you need it because, you're going to, that you have social capital with them, the kind of things that they will ask you for. Also, fantastic books, fantastic series. Just love that concept as well. So yeah, there's that. Y'all now know about that. I see that on Facebook, Benny asks, is there anything different for existing SiteGround customers? And unfortunately, Benny, no, there is not. This only applies to new customers that are coming through Elegant Themes portal. What you can do if you're like me and already an existing SiteGround customer, you can go through your Elegant Themes membership, sign up for a new account with the Elegant Themes discount and with the Divi hosting bonuses, and then migrate your current stuff there. I can say for SiteGround specifically, it is painless to do that in terms of migration because I've done it before. Their migration stuff was like that. Don't know about the others specifically, but I know that the plugin and from Pressable, and I know that I've heard good things about flywheels as well. But in terms of SiteGround, that's what you'll have to do. I'm not sure if it's coming for the other direction. Like when you re-up, you get a Divi and Elegant Themes add-on. I don't know if that's a thing that's coming up, but I know right now the only way to do it is from our end to a new SiteGround account. How I built it is moving on a little bit from that. So please feel free to ask any other questions if I can answer them. Moving forward, just a bit, not going to really dig in on this because I haven't had a chance to listen to it, but how I built it, put together a list of tips for pivoting because of COVID-19, and it's something that everybody ought to read and listen to and know about because we're all having to pivot a little bit. Velocitize did an article on 3 ways to approach digital rebranding. So if Uncle Social wanted to rebrand into antisocial, then there would be some things that he would need to consider at that point. But I see Dave asking regarding the hosting, says then you're still paying for your existing contract, right? And yes, you are at that point. That's why for me, I think my contract is up in November when I need to re-up. So I will probably go through the discount and get the discount in November to avoid having doubled costs, or overlapping costs, I should say. But yeah, that's the one thing. You may be able to talk to support somehow. I've not done it. I don't know anyone who has, so this is just me, spitballing here, and see if there's something that you could work out, because the support at all of these are just, I love them. I've talked with all of them and they're good folks. But you'd have to ask and find out about that. But yeah, as far as I know, still have the first account under contract until it ran out. Let's see. Uncle Social says, I'm extremely antisocial. My life has barely changed during the lockdown. Mine has too. Working from home does that. It's changed a lot, but not as much as it did a lot of people. It's been enough to drive me a little stir crazy, but it's not like a huge upheaval like it was when I went from working at the college to working here at home. That was a much bigger one to me. Now, Velocitize also has an article just a little bit down on how to avoid seasonal advertising disappointment. And I saw this and got excited because I love and loathe seasonal advertising. I really, really do. I go back and forth depending on what holiday it is. I get really, really, really sick of major holiday advertising. I know what to expect every Halloween. I know what to expect every April Fool's Day. I know what to expect every Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and Christmas. Always know what to expect. The sales generally don't change. Not that much. What I like, though, I always get disappointed by those too. You know, you generally have to hit those milestones in with your business. The ones I like, though, that I think you should take more advantage of, and this talks about as well, is taking advantage of the, how do they put it? What do they call them again? I'm trying to find how they put it. Oh, my goodness. Is it alternative holidays? National days is how they put it. If you have any national days that are just calling something out, or any local holidays within just your country, or just your town or your area, if you celebrate something, if you have a festival, if like my college was in a town, my undergrad college was in a town where they had a soybean festival every year. And it was like a little carnival and fair that happened. And that would be the kind of thing that people would advertise about and do. And it was really interesting. So those kinds of things you can latch on to. I don't know if anybody else is playing Animal Crossing. I'm assuming you are, but it's International Museum Month maybe, or International Museum Week. And so even those people, even that game has latched on to having a special event happening within the game that's based around your museum. That's the kind of thing that I like International Talk Like a Pirate Day, things like that. You can run sales that you may not have people who are expecting those, and actually reach a larger audience than you could otherwise, rather than having, overwhelming me with yet another Christmas email. It's like, yep, you're having 20% off, and so is everybody else. Send me a happy soybean day email and say, here's 25% off your next order. Probably the only happy soybean day email that I'm going to get. In fact, I don't think I'm going to get any happy soybean day emails because I don't know when soybean day is. But that's just one of those things where if you can take advantage of smaller ones, you can then increase visibility and not really get caught in that seasonal disappointment. See, make sure I'm not missing anything there. And where am I at? Oh, wow. The time is flying by. Just to show you a couple of things that are still in the tutorials, not really going to go dig into them. 10 ways to make your site more accessible. This is one that actually came out because of Global Accessibility Awareness Day. They were able to put this out, and this is content that everybody needs. So tying back into that last one, yes, it was a day. Yes, it was one of those that gets called out online and hashtagged. But because of that, they put out legitimately interesting and useful content. So check that out, because we all need better accessibility on our websites. Even if we do well, we need better. There is a premium, well, I say premium every time, but it's a WPMU Dev article on comparing web traffic. What it is showing you how to actually dig into Google Analytics and like get rid of bots, things like that, where you can see the real numbers and how to deal with them. There is a CSS tricks article on how to do block transforms through the editor. So it digs into some code that you can use to make the block editor a little more pretty and make it do a few things that it can't do right out of the box. There's also a iconic WP post on how to add custom fields to product variations in WooCommerce, so that if you have a lot of different product variations, you can use custom fields to really make them stand out and do different things with them. Uncle Social says Ed Ball's Day on Wikipedia. It's this day we celebrate every year to make the anniversary of a day that a politician here tweeted his own name. All right, I am so looking up Ed Ball's Day soon. All right, thanks, Unc. Now, before we get out of here, just pointing out some of the resources. Velocitize was on fire this week. The first one under resources, y'all, is called Virtually Possible, and it is doing what I've been talking about for weeks. Well, it's talking about what I've been talking about for weeks. It has case studies and looks at two small businesses that pivoted their business online from brick and mortar to online. That it is looking at the way like a local florist did it. Like they used AR to up sales so that people could preview flowers and things like that. I can't now. I've forgotten what the second one was. It's gonna drive me crazy if I don't remember the other one. Weird Homes at Home, where they were doing this one real estate company was doing virtual home tours every Saturday, doing live streams like that of showing weird homes, things like that, to really bump up their engagement online and move more of it to online sales that way. And sorry, Daryl, I promise I'm not skipping to the end. I'm just going through, going down the list. And then, I'll wrap up with, next to wrap up, talking about the WordPress online, WordCamp online. Yes, WordCamp US and WordCamp EU online. There we go. Joe Casabona has a replace your event with a podcast. This is a really cool idea because people kind of hate webinars these days. Like I know that 30 minutes have passed again, y'all. That people kind of hate webinars. People get webinar burned out. Let me put it that way. We're all getting kind of Zoom burned out right now. But people still listen to podcasts. Podcast listens are back up about 12% from where they were within the first couple of weeks of the lockdowns. So think about a podcast if you are thinking about doing any kind of virtual event. It's a really good idea to do it as a podcast because people are still always listening to podcasts. And then I do want to wrap up with the very last one. And no, Daryl, I know I did not get through all of them today. Can't say that I did. It was it was not 1, 2, 99, 100. But it's the last one on here is from Can't Speak Geek. This one is specifically for Uncle Social. The best WordPress groups on Facebook. I figure that that is a good place to end today. There are actually really good Facebook groups out there. I do hate that they didn't include the Divi theme users group on the list. It was really, it's a fantastic group. It's the official Elegant Themes group on Facebook called Divi Theme Users. Apply today. But it is really good. It's not included on this list, so it's at the bottom of mine. No, it was just where it was when I was pasting things in. But it is a good list of like WordPress for beginners, intermediate WordPress, advanced WordPress, some of them that really help people and that I'm a part of that I see just show up in my feed with good discussions every time. So I wanted to let y'all know about those, that if you're on Facebook and you're looking for that kind of thing, then there are really, really, really good ones out there, despite what Uncle Social says, that there are no good Facebook groups. But anyway, thank y'all. And thank y'all for coming out a day early. I was not sure how it would work out with us going live Thursday instead of Friday, but I'm glad that y'all saw the notifications. I'm glad that you took the time out of your day, and really, really, really appreciate you taking the time to spend with me and with Elegant Themes. Remember that tomorrow at 6 a.m. Eastern and 11 a.m. UTC, we are going live with Mac about Divi hosting. So check out the first link in the description if you are curious about what our new hosting options are with our partnerships with Flywheel, SiteGround, and Pressable. Read about those, sign up for those, do whatever you need to do, and then come tomorrow at 6 a.m. Eastern and 11 a.m. UTC, it's the same time, and interact with Mac on the live stream on our Facebook and YouTube pages. It will be an absolutely great time. He is fantastic. Y'all all know that. So thank y'all for coming out. Make sure that you press the like button as many times as possible, or, just once if that's all it takes. Subscribe. Tell Facebook that you want to know when we go live. Tell YouTube the same thing. Ring the bell. Do the entire YouTube spiel. You know how it goes. It helps us out a lot if you do that. YouTube likes to see interaction. So I thank you so much for that. Facebook likes it as well. And I really hope that y'all have a fantastic week, and stay safe, protect everybody around you, and I will see y'all next week.